जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवर धारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवर धारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुना तीर वनचारी। यमुना तीर वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, सुताई गौ सुंदर की, नरसिंहदेव भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की, पतित पावन श्री प्रभुपाद की, पतित पावन श्री प्रभु महाराज की, समस्त गौर भक्तवृंद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Studying from Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 32, entitled as Entanglement in Fruitive Activities, text number 41 and 42. Text 41. Saddhadhanaya bhaktaya vinitaya suyave bhaktesu krita maitraya susrusabhirataya cha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Instructions should be given to the faithful devotee who is respectful to the spiritual master, non-envious, friendly to all kinds of living entities, and eager to render service with faith and sincerity. Translation again. Instructions should be given to the faithful devotee who is respectful to the spiritual master, non-envious, friendly to all kinds of living entities, and eager to render service with faith and sincerity. Text 42. Bahe jata viragaya santa chittaya dhiyatam nirmasaraya suchaye yasyaham preyasam priyah. The chant. Bahe jata viragaya santa chittaya dhiyatam nirmasaraya suchaye yasyaham preyasam priyah. Bahe jata viragaya santa chittaya dhiyatam nirmasaraya suchaye yasyaham preyasam priyah. Word for word meaning. Bahi, for what is outside. Jata viragaya, to him who has developed detachment. Santa chittaya, whose mind is peaceful. Diyatam, let this be instructed. Nirmatsaraya, non-envious. Suchaye, perfectly cleansed. Yasya, of whom. Aham, I. Preyasam, of all that is very dear. Priya, the most dear. Translation. This instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to persons who have taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be more dear than anything, who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed and who have developed detachment for what that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness. Translation once again. This instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to the person who have taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be more dear than anything, who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed and who have developed detachment for what which is outside of purview of Krishna consciousness. Purport. In the beginning, no one can be elevated to the highest stage of devotional service. Here, bhakta means one who does not hesitate to accept the reformatory process for becoming a bhakta. In order to become a devotee of the Lord, one has to accept a spiritual master and inquire from him about how to progress in devotional service. To serve a devotee, to chant the holy name according to a certain counting method, to worship the deity, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from a realized person, and to live in a sacred place where devotional service is not disturbed are first out of 64 devotional activities for making progress in devotional service. One who has accepted these 5 chief activities is called a devotee. One must be prepared to offer the necessary respect and honor to a spiritual master. He should not be unnecessarily envious of his god brothers. Rather, if a god brother is more enlightened and advanced in Krishna consciousness, one should accept him as almost equal to spiritual master. And one should be happy to see such god brothers advance in Krishna consciousness. A devotee should always be very kind to general public in instructing Krishna consciousness, because that is the only solution for getting out of the clutches of Maya. That is really humanitarian work, for it is the way to show mercy to other people who need it very badly. The word Sustusa Bhirataya indicates a person who faithfully engages in serving the spiritual master. One should give personal service and all kinds of comforts to the spiritual master. A devotee who does so is also a bona fide candidate for taking this instruction. A devotee who does so is also a bona fide candidate for taking this instruction. The word Bahirjata Viragaya means a person who has developed detachment from external and internal material propensities. Not only is he detached from activities which are not connected to Krishna consciousness, but he should be internally averse to the material way of life. Such a person must be non-envious and should think of the welfare of all living entities, not only of the human being, but living entities other than human beings. The word Suchaye means one who is cleansed both externally and internally. To become actually cleansed externally and internally, one should chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna or Vishnu constantly. The word Diyatam means that knowledge of Krishna consciousness should be offered by the spiritual master. The spiritual master must not accept a disciple who is not qualified. He should not be professional and should not accept disciples for monetary gains. The bona fide spiritual master must see the bona fide qualities of a person whom he is going to initiate. An unworthy person should not be initiated. The spiritual master should train his disciples in such a way so that in the future only the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be the dearmost goal of his life. In these two verses, the qualities of a devotee are fully explained. One who has actually developed all the qualities listed in these verses is already elevated to the post of a devotee. If one has not developed all these qualities, he still has to fulfill these conditions in order to become a perfect devotee. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langyayate Girim Yatkipatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Srila Prabhupada is explaining that these are the qualities of a devotee. What are the qualities mentioned here is Sadhanaya means faithful. Devotee is faithful. So, Prabhupada is faith is described that by serving the Lord and by serving Guru, one achieves all perfection. This is the faith. Saddha Sabde Suddhin Nishchaya Krishna Karma Krit Kaile Sarva Krit Haya. Shraddha means to have full belief that by serving Krishna, by serving Guru, one will get the perfection. So this is the basic criterion. Actually, we have to have faith. Without faith, we cannot actually take any instructions. We, even for the material education, we go to universities and then the professor teaches, and we believe what he is teaching us. When in school we are taught A, B, C, D, all from beginning alphabets, to mathematics, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. All this we believe. Hmm. Why we believe? Not that we have uh, very thoughtfully about did some research about this and then we have accepted this. No, we accept out of faith. So this is the basics. Because of the faith we learn what is taught. If there is no faith, then we will not be able to learn. It is to speak about material life. So what to say about spiritual life? So one must have full faith in a spiritual master. Krishna is saying, Evam parampara praptam rajarasyo vidu sakalene mata yogo nashta parantapa. So this knowledge is a descending process. Come from spiritual master to his disciples, from the disciples to his disciples. That's how it flows. And we get the perfect knowledge. Krishna is speaking this knowledge in beginning to Lord Brahma in his heart. Tene Brahma Hidaya Adi Kavve. So Adi Kavi is Lord Brahma, first original living entity. And Brahma, Vedic knowledge, Tene means imparted to the heart of Brahmaji by Lord Sri Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So in this process, the knowledge comes down from Brahmaji to Vyasadev, to Narad Muni, to Vyasadev, to Madhvacharya. Like this parampara is coming down. Srila Prabhupada is saying this. So the spiritual master just repeats the message of his Acharya, his Guru. And in this way the message of Lord Sri Krishna is repeated. So what is there in the scripture is presented by spiritual master. What he has learned from his Guru, he presents that as it is, and he has full faith in that. Like Srila Prabhupada, during 60s, he was commenting on man has not landed on moon, and he is saying that how he cannot land in the moon, because it is said in the scriptures that moon distance is far away than distance of sun from earth. So he is still situated in higher realm, in heavenly planets. So it's impossible to go there by any mechanical ways. First thing, it is so far away. What we are thinking is not so nearby. It's very far away. Second thing is that even if you are capable of also going there, we will not be allowed. Even if I want to come to your country, America, I have to take visa, get passport, and there's so many clearance I have to get, and then I can come. So you're thinking to go to a moon, it's not so easy to be permitted there. You're gone, yet they are not gone. This what is explained in Bhagavatam is explained in other Vedic scriptures. And if we don't have the faith in the spiritual master, then we will not have faith in his teachings. So the spiritual master repeats the words of his Guru, which is also verified by the Shastras. This is the way of learning. The first quality is mentioned about devotees to become faithful. And second thing is he should be respectful to spiritual master. The culture of respect is very, very important. We can recall the incident of Jara Bharat and King Raghugana. So Raghugana has asked uh, actually he did not ask. The palanquin carrier, one of the chief palanquin carrier, bought Jad Bharat to carry the palanquin, and he was, indirectly he was okay. Anyway, someone should carry. And when Jad Bharat saw ant passing by, and he stopped till the ant is moved, and then he moved forward. And in this way, there was some disturbance in carrying the palanquin, and Raghugana got very angry, and he became very angry, and he, spoke harsh words, with kind of very disrespectful. And uh, later, when he realized his mistake, that Jada Bharat is not what I thought, he's a highly realized soul, great sage. Immediately he fall on his feet, and he sincerely repented the offense which he has done. He's feeling again and again that I have done such a big mistake. So one should be very, very respectful. This is the basic criteria to have a faith and be respectful to spiritual master. If we are not respectful, then we will see that even the knowledge which is explained to us, we will not be able to grasp it. See that Duryodhan was not able to learn as how much Arjuna could learn from Dronacharya. Because though Duryodhan was sort of giving respect, but it was only external. So was quite diplomatic, political in his dealings, not straightforward and respectful. So he could not grasp. So how much we are respectful, according to that, actually we learn. It is said that one should be respectful to all the living entities. Why? Because all the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And the spiritual master is a directly manifestation of the Lord's mercy, Kripa Murti. We say, no, His divine grace. Kripa Murti is the direct manifestation of the mercy of the Lord. So how much we are respectful to the deities and to the Lord when He comes. Similarly, we should be respectful to a Guru, Acharya, saintly persons, elderly people. There is a doha of Kabir Das. It's a famous doha. Guru Gobind dau khare kake lagu paye, Balihari Guru apano Gobind diyo bataye. Said that both Guru, spiritual master, and Govind have come to my home. Both have come to my home. Now I am in confusion. Whom I should do first? First, whose lotus feet I should touch? Guru or Govinda? Then he is thinking and saying that no, I should touch the lotus feet of Guru first. Why? Because Guru Balihari Apano, that Guru only has introduced me to Govinda. I could never understand Govinda my own. It is through the Guru only I have understood Govinda. So it's the Guru only first I should pay respect and then go to Govinda. So this is the actually proper conclusion. We cannot cross the Guru and reach to Govinda. It's not possible. It's never possible. It's only we can hallucinate to think like this, we will reach Krishna directly. We have to come through spiritual master only. We do worship every day. The worship Actually, we always understand that the worship is performed by spiritual master because he has direct access to Krishna. I don't have direct access to Krishna. All the worships, A to Z, all the upcharas, everything is done by the spiritual master. I am just assisting him. So when we before starting we pray also that kindly engage me as an instrument in the service of Supreme Lord, and then we start our worship. The most important thing is to be respectful, faithful and respectful. And then it is said that devotees should be non-envious. Non-envious. Uh, Even Krishna is telling to Arjuna that I am giving you this knowledge because you are non-envious of me. Sloka is Bhakto asime sakha cheti rahasyam hi etad uttamam. Previous two lines are there, and that it is saying that I am speaking this science to you because you are non-envious. But you are my friend, non-envious to me. I speak this science to you. So it's quite natural that we open our heart to the people who are non-envious. If some person has a envy, then how we will be able to open our heart to him? So being non-envious is very, very important. The material world is designed like this. All the living entities who are envious are put here inside. We subjected to kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara. So recently I heard in lecture of Guru Maharaj, there one devotee asked this question that we see that there are some devotees who are very selfish. Actually, they are just looking how things will, uh, how I can utilize things, how I will be benefited. They are not caring about others, just thinking about themselves. Just devotees, how I should connect with them. Guru Maharaj replied to them to the answer that first we should know the temple is like a hospital. The temple is hospital, and who comes to the hospital? The patients come to the hospital who are sick. So in this material world, everybody is having this anarthas, and out of that, there are fortunate souls who wants to take treatment, wants to become free from this anarthas. They realize that they have problems, and they want to free. They come to temple. Okay, so first thing is we should realize this, that it is there with me, and it is there with everybody in lesser or greater degree. Then Guru Maharaj shared his realization that he went to Australia. In the hospital he was admitted, and there was one patient who was very rude to all the other patients and nurses, doctors. He was not very respectful. So everybody used to keep away from him. And somehow Guru Maharaj saw him, and then he started giving him prasadam. In this way he became very friendly to Guru Maharaj. And then nurses asked, why are you giving prasadam to such a person? You should not give him. Rather you should give us. And Guru Maharaj laughed and said, no, I will give you also. So he gave to them also. So he was quoting from Sat Goswami Ashtaka, Dhira Dhira Jana Priyau Nirmastarau Pujitau. So success Goswamis, they are actually kind both to gentle and ruffians. Dhira Dhira Jana Priyau Nirmastarau Pujitau. So that is the characteristics of devotee, that he is gentle to both ruffians and kind to both ruffians and gentlemen, because he is non-envious. Nirmatsarau pujitau. So this is the characteristics of devotee. Ajat satrava. we see that how Yudhishthira Maharaj was called Ajat. He had no enemies because he never considered any living entity as his enemy. He always considered that they are part and parcel of the Lord. They are soul. So they never thought about others as his enemy. Therefore, it's called Ajat Sattva. This is one of the characteristics of devotee. Uh, so there is an incident in Mahabharata where Dronacharya called Yudhishthir Maharaj and Duryodhan because both of them were like uh, senior eldest son, Yudhishthir Maharaj and Dronacharya. He called and asked. He first asked Yudhishthir Maharaj uh, that you should go and find out a person who is better than you. Uh, no, no, he told Yudhishthir Maharaj, you go and find out a person who is, worse than you. No, who is not better than you. And Yudhishthir Maharaj went out and searching. And whomever he meets, he is seeing good qualities which he don't have. He is not able to see faults in them. He is seeing good qualities which he don't have. And after long time searching, he came back and told Dronacharya that no, I don't find any person who is not better than me. Then he called Duryodhan. He said that okay, you go out and find out first person who is better than you. Then Duryodhana went out and searching, and he's seeing always false, and he says he's seeing always fine. This person is, I am even better than him. You meet to another person, I am better than him. So always whomever he sees, he feels that he is better. So he turned back and said, Gurudev, here nearby nobody is better than me. I am the best. Then what Yudhishthira Maharaj said, I am the worst, and he said, I am the best. So both they could not find. So see that devotees, they naturally see good qualities in others, and they are non-envious, like Sikh Goswamis. Okay. And then there's other characteristic is friendly to all kinds of living entities. Suhidam sarva bhutana. We see that Krishna is saying that he is the well-wisher of all the living entities. So similarly, devotees are also, they are well-wisher of the all living entities. This is the characteristics of devotee. Yes, qualities of devotees. It is said that titikchava karunika suhidam sarvadehinam ajat tatrava santa sadhava sadhu bhushana. So devotees are actually friendly to all the living entities. They are always thinking about to serve the other living entity, to do good to them. This is the characteristics of a devotee. Friendly to all kinds of living entities. See that Jad Bharat even not willing to step on an ant. Because devotees are self-realized. So whenever there is some sort of disturbance or trouble to other living entities, they feel that on themselves. That so for example, say if somebody's troubles our very near and dear one, we feel that trouble, right? So they are so much united, so much connecting with all the living entities that if any trouble comes to them, they think that how he is going to bear that, how I am going to bear that, thinking that the trouble is to them only. And in this way, they are not, they cannot cause any disturbance to others. So this is the Actually, therefore, the devotees are leaders, because they are friendly to all living entities. They are unanimously, everyone agrees them as their leader. And then eager to render service with faith and sincerity. So Prabhupada is saying this, faithful service. Eager to render service with faith and sincerity. Sustusabhirataya cha. Prabhupada is telling about this. The word sustusabhirataya indicates a person who faithfully engages in serving the spiritual master. One should give personal service and all kinds of comforts to spiritual master. A devotee who does it so is also a bona fide candidate for taking this instruction. So they render service with faith and sincerity. Even Krishna is telling that how to receive the knowledge. Is telling that one should approach the spiritual master तद्विति परिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, नरसिंहदेव भक्तलाल महाराज की जय, निताय गौर सुंदर की जय, पतित पावन श्री प्रभुपाद की। उपदेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानम ज्ञानिनस् तत्वदर्शिनः. That one should approach the spiritual master and serve him, sincerely serve him, and then submissively inquire him. This is the characteristics to be a disciple. Naturally, suppose we are serving someone, we keep on serving to somebody sincerely. What will happen? Suppose we are in trouble, what the person will do to us? He will say, oh, you are going to be in trouble, be careful. That naturally, because he also becomes so natural. That's how actually in Gurukul earlier the lessons were learned. The brahmacharis will go and stay in the house of a spiritual master, and they'll keep on serving the spiritual master. The spiritual master will be very pleased with him, and they will, they will share everything they have realized, and also the disciples will understand in that way what he is teaching and become so perfect. Rendering service with faith and sincerity, very, very important. The Guru was not receiving earlier any salary or anything. Simply the brahmacharis will go and stay there, and then they will keep on serving the Guru. Even we see that in case of Kardam Muni and Devotee, Devotee was so sincerely serving Kardam Muni, and he was so pleased. And then he benedicted her, what do you want? So she said, as being woman, I desire to have children. And then they begot the Supreme Lord himself. Kapila Muni, Lord Kapila Dev was born to them. So we see this how it happens. We sincerely, if we are serving, then the knowledge about the absolute truth naturally flows. It is not only our effort to mug up the slokas, or to make a note of all the concepts. That's not that's not how the education or the realization comes. And we are sincerely serving the spiritual master, naturally what he has realized will be imparted to us. When it is further, it is described Bahir Jat Viragaya. Prabhupada is explaining that is a devotee who does so Bahirjata Viragaya means a person who has developed detachment from external and internal material propensities. Not only is he detached from activities which are not connected to Krishna consciousness, but he should be internally averse to the material way of life. Such a person must be non-envious and should think of the welfare of all living entities. Not only of the human beings, but living entities other than human beings. The word suchaye. So, the Bahir Jata Viragaya, it is explained uh, that he has developed detachment from everything which is not connected to Krishna. Bahir Jat Viragaya is not interested in any material ambitions to pursue any material ambitions that I want to become a great personality in this material world. I want to be famous. I want to be reached. People should respect me. All these material things. Puja, la, pratishtha. He is not aspiring for this. They are all insignificant for what he has come. In comparison to that, all these are insignificant. Here come Uttama Sloka Lalasa. Bharat Maharaj gave up all these things because he was so eager to reach to Krishna, to get Krishna consciousness, that he gave up all these things which were not even imagined by common man and even envied by personalities in heavenly planets. All those things he gave up uh, because he has such eagerness to get Krishna that he gave all these things as one passes stool and leave. It's mentioned. So one should be detached from all things which is not connected with Krishna. There is no use. Either we become detached, or anyway we have to give up those things here only, which is not connected to Krishna, will be anyway taken away by Maya. At time of death, we will be separated from all our near and dear one, with all our wealth, all material possessions, everything material will be anyway taken away from us forcefully. And that time we will have so much pain to be separated from this, because we have accumulated this whole life endeavoring and we will be forced to give up. Why not to give this up voluntarily and to aspire for something which is much more valuable? And devotees, they understand this very well. Therefore they call Bahir Jata Viragaya, Santa Chittaya. Santa Chittaya, why devotees are peaceful? Because they don't have any material desires. When we have any material desires, we hanker for it and we plan this, and we see if how if we don't, people become anxious if their plans are disturbed. So devotees are not actually agitated because they don't have any material desires, free from material desires, akama, sant chittaya. People are looking for peace, but peace only possible when we become free from any material desires. Since Prabhupada is explaining suchaye. Suchaye means, the word suchaye means one who is cleansed both externally and internally. To become actually cleansed externally and internally, one should chant the holy name of Lord Hare Krishna or Vishnu constantly. So, if we are not chanting the holy name of the Lord, especially this time, in this age of Kali Yuga, will be certainly forced to be subjected by three modes, and mostly tamoguna. What is the characteristics of tamoguna? Uncleanliness. We cannot maintain cleanliness if we are affected by tamoguna. And we can become free from tamoguna only when we are chanting the holy name of the Lord in Kali Yuga. So one should constantly chant the holy name of the Lord. When I was in college, one devotee, one of my classmates told me this, that this is a Prabhupada's quote, which was very, very striking. What is the quote? He told that Prabhupada is saying that if you are not thinking of Krishna, you'll be thinking of naked women. First time when you hear it was such a shock, huh? Because we don't mean that we not realize even if you are thinking of this becomes part of life, common thing. This goes on like this. Huh? But Prabhupada is telling if you are not thinking of Krishna, you'll think about the naked woman. This so uh, living entities is naturally so much inclined towards Prabhupada is I think so much inclined towards sense gratification naturally. Women and wine, so much inclined, that if we are not connecting ourselves to Krishna, naturally think about this. So if you want to be suchi, clean, both internally and externally, we have to think about Krishna. There is no other way. The word Dhyata means that knowledge of Krishna consciousness should be offered by the spiritual master. So the knowledge comes from the spiritual master. The spiritual master must not accept a disciple who is not qualified. He should not be professional and should not accept disciple for monetary gains. The bona fide spiritual master must see the bona fide qualities of a person who is going to initiate. An unworthy person should not be initiated. The spiritual master should train his disciples in such a way so that in future only the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be the dearmost goal of his life. This is very important. We have to come to this reality to understand. Suhridam Sarvadehina. Krishna is only our real well-wisher. We actually investing our uh, uh, our affection in so many things, thinking that they are our well-wishers. Uh, Actually, Krishna is our only well-wishers. Uh, Suhidam Sarvadehinam, and not of us only. Well-wisher, only well-wisher for all the living entities. And then what others are doing? The others are doing being facilitated through Krishna only. Krishna is who feeding the calf as soon as he is born to the mother. Krishna only supplying to all the living entities to various agencies. And when we see the mother dies, then Krishna sends someone else to feed. We may be thinking, oh, my mother is the well-wisher, but now she has died, then how we are surviving? How we are surviving? Where mother is already left. Krishna is providing. He is providing to all of us, both our spiritual and material needs. He is sanctioning Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara. So he is our only well-wisher. We should understand this, and we should also not falsely claim that I am the well-wisher of so and so. That means we are trying to be Krishna. Because Krishna is the only well-wisher. How we can say that we are well-wisher? Yeah, we become well-wisher on behalf of Krishna. Like Prabhupada writes signs, your ever well-wisher. Because he is the representative of the Supreme Lord, the pure representative of Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada can sign like this, your ever well-wisher. So it is Prabhupada is writing that this is all the qualities of a devotee. So in the beginning, no, these qualities will not be there because we are aspiring only, trying to become devotees. So Prabhupada is writing, in the beginning, no one can be elevated to the highest stage of devotional service. Here Bhakta means one who does not hesitate to accept the reformatory process for becoming a Bhakta. So that's how we can understand the Shastras through the eyes of Acharyas. Here devotee means, the meaning of devotee is the person who wants to become devotee. Who wants to take the reformatory processes, who want to take corrections. A person is not willing to take corrections and want to go his way. My way is highway, it is said. Then he is not devotee. He will not become a devotee. A devotee wants to take the corrections and wants to become purified, wants to go back to Godhead. And therefore, he does all this, Shraddhanaya. He is very faithful, very respectful, the spiritual master, is not envious, friendly to all kinds of living entities, and he is eager to render service with faith and sincerity. And they said that this instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to person who have taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be more dear than anything, who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed and who have developed detachment for that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we will see that it will be simply waste of time. A person who is not interested in Krishna consciousness, you just start speaking to him, he will not take it up, he will waste his time, our time. But still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told, Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesha, Amar agya guru hoi tara e desa. So one should, whomever one sees, to talk about Krishna. Because it's the order of Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. By doing this, we will become purified, and that person will also develop the eagerness. What all these qualities mentioned, he will develop this eagerness. That's how it is possible in Kali Yuga. So to speak about Krishna consciousness always to everyone. In this way, we will be purified, and the world's consciousness will change. People's consciousness will change. Om Tat Sat. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.